Do we have anybody here who thinks presentations are awful?
Terror.
Why?
I get really, really nervous.
As I started to speak, and things go on in your head, words are coming out here and other things are going on here. And as I started to speak, I thought, you sound just like the Queen. I'm really delighted to be here this evening. I can't believe it, I'm sounding like the Queen. How do I stop that and carry on with this presentation?
If you think of what you actually have to do when you make a presentation, you stand at the front, you stand up, everybody else shuts up, everybody looks at you, and it's scary. Because it's, in a sense, it's as if you're making a bid to be the leader. As an audience, you actually accept that that convention is how it's done, right? So when somebody stands up in front of the room, they're not actually making a bid to be the leader. In fact, that's the last thing they want to do, usually. And as an audience, you're not about to throw things at them or go up and start hitting them or starting fights or anything like that. It's all perfectly civilised, and it's a form of acting. It's a form of social convention which we all abide by. You spend hours, days, weeks preparing the content of what you're going to say. You stand up in front of an audience and they're looking at whether they like your suit or whether they think that your shoes match your handbag. Some people think, oh, well, we don't need to bother with the content then, it's only 7%, let's just wear a nice suit and be nice. But the way I see it is sort of concentric circles. The 7% is the bitter middle of the pill. That's the bit you want people to take. So you have to make sure that neither your voice or anything associated with your voice, nor anything to do with looking at you, distracts people from getting the message. I'm hoping that this afternoon, I'm going to try and get you going in a minute and let you all stand up and have a go and see how you react. But the first thing to bear in mind is people do wish you well when you are speaking. The other thing is people think, oh my God, I missed out point 3. I had 25 points and I missed some of them out. You're the only one that knows that. You're totally among friends. So if you want to make, if there's a good time to make a mistake, it's in a session like this. Because we won't make you feel silly, honestly. We'll support and encourage. I started my career as a journalist. I've worked in newspapers and radio and television. And in all 3 of those media, pictures are absolutely vital. Pictures are how you get people's interest. And they can be physical pictures, or they can be pictures made of words. And it's a very, very good tip for a presenter to always paint a picture, if you can. Because the audience can't remember abstraction, but the audience can remember you painting a little word picture of somebody doing, a happy person doing something with what you make, whatever that might be.
I hope what I've told you has been useful and that you've gained a better insight into my company, and thank you for your time.
Can we ask you some questions?
Oh, sorry, yes. Has anybody got any questions?
Now, these are all in the very early stages of development with our membership. We're just in the stages of publicising them to our membership through advertising, information on the website. But I'm very interested to see how all of that goes with the members and see what other kind of services they might want. Our members are not used to coming to us for these kind of services, so there's a bit of awareness building as much as anything else. I'd be curious to know this afternoon if any of you have any comments or ideas for these kind of services, assuming that most of you are consultants yourselves. I'm very happy to take any questions you might have.
That was nicely interactive. You were asking us all questions, which is great. All you can do to engage is better. Angela, do you want to go next?
No.
Oh,
Whilst you're working, you're getting the added benefits that perhaps you didn't even realise that you'd paid for when you joined.
well done, Angela. You can't assume that they're listening. They might be just there in rows being polite. That doesn't mean they're paying any attention to what you're saying. So one of the things that you have to do when you structure the presentation is make sure it's relevant to the people that you're talking to. I always say, imagine they've all got "so what" tattooed across their forehead. You've got to build some kind of bridge between yourself and the audience. Do something that will make them, like you, respect you. Just make some kind of connection. It could be something. It could be a joke. It could be some very fairly basic remark about the weather, or problems that you had getting there. But something to get them listening and paying attention. If you get that awful, embarrassing silence that you sometimes do get, where people don't want to ask you a question or don't care or something, have some questions ready that you can ask the audience. So then you can say, okay, well, what do you think is the relevance of what I've been saying for your business, or whatever it might be. But just have one or two things, because once you've broken the ice, once you've got one person talking, you'll find that they'll relax a bit and they'll start asking questions.